There you go. Hey guys, it is Mission Discover, and welcome back to another episode of Multi-Species Madness. We are down here in the Outer Banks of North Carolina for year 3 of doing one of these awesome Multi-Species Madness episodes for you guys. As you can see, I already have the first rod tossed out behind me. We came out earlier during the normal beach day. I tried to do some fishing with one of the lure rods since we didn't have the surf rods already unpacked, but that was not successful. So we're back out here again to give it another try. Let's see what happens. Alrighty, well, I found all these little surf clams earlier. I'm rolling the footage on screen right now. I've used these in the past on previous Multi-Species Madness episodes here in the Outer Banks as bait for little tiny microfish. And I have one of my micro rods here. I just saw some little silver sides out in the surf, and I'm gonna give it an attempt as the surf rod's out there. It's very clear water right now, and there's a nice little pocket just a couple feet offshore that is pretty calm, so we're gonna give it a try. Initially, I'm just going to find one of these that's opened up a little bit here. There you go, and there's some nice little meat inside. I'm gonna grab a little nugget of this stuff. All right, let's try it, see what happens. Yeah, it's not bad, like right here. It's super, super calm. I think this is not gonna work, given that the silver sides generally only eat when they're on top, when they're up on the surface, and because of how rough it is, there's none directly up on the surface, so I'm gonna just continue working with the surf rod. Okay, that's what was pulling. We got some seaweed gunk. Nope. Just more weeds. Yay, weeds. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but every time I reel in, I have all this like ground up shell and debris all over my line, and I'm not sure if that's why there's no fish here, but it's definitely possible. It's really, really weird. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Come on, man, it's starting to get dim. I really don't want to have a skunk on day 1 like we did last year. Alrighty, I'm gonna reel up this rod. If there's no more fish, unfortunately, that's going to be a wrap for day 1. I don't think that's a fish, but we'll reel it in just in case. Yep, unfortunately, we're going to end day 1 at Outer Banks with a skunk, and believe it or not, that's actually my first skunk of this year. That's my first skunk of 2024, which is quite disappointing to have it happen like this, but it is what it is. We got to deal with it, and we'll get one tomorrow. I will see you guys then. Alrighty, it's now day 2. Got the surf rod out. I plan to do a little bit of surf fishing now, just to see what's going on, test the waters a little bit. And if the surf fishing doesn't pan out, I'm gonna head down to that little park area that we fished before, and try and catch some micros. So we should be able to catch a fish today. Just depends on how it goes. I'm gonna see if I can get the surf rod out there now. I've mentioned this in previous episodes here. Sometimes you gotta kind of wait out. Sometimes you gotta wait out to be able to get the right cast. And that's what I just did. Hopefully that's worth it.
I spent about an hour and a half using the surf rod with no success, before eventually giving up and just enjoying my time at the beach. I did find a baby pufferfish, as well as a little crab, got to fly the kite a little bit, and saw this dude doing some acrobatic stuff, which was all entertaining. But unfortunately this far in the trip, the fishing has not been.
Alrighty, so unfortunately we didn't catch any fish in the surf today, but it's about 5 o'clock and I'm here at the same park that I have fished in the previous Multi-Species Madness episode here in the Outer Banks. I've caught a wide variety of fish from the different brackish areas throughout this park, and I've been seeing some reports of some different killifish species that I don't have on my list. So I've got one of my micro rods. Unfortunately, it is my shorter one since I did not have access to my longer one. It got lost shortly before this trip, and I ordered another one, but it did not get here in time. So we're gonna be using the shorter micro rod in hopes of catching some killifish at this spot here. There we go. Oh, don't go anywhere. Very first fish of the trip. If you guys watched last year's Multi-Species Madness episode, this should not be a surprise to you. That is an eastern mosquito fish right there. I caught a lot of these guys last year. Gonna let them go. Good to get the skunk off the board, but I'm not into catching a whole bunch of these guys. So this whole pool is just a whole bunch of eastern mosquito fish. I did see what I think are some of the killifish species I wanted down there at the dock when I checked it out earlier today. So I'm gonna head down there now. All right, I think I see some of them right there towards the end of this little triangle dock, but I gotta get to them. So see if we can get there without spooking them. And kind of crawl out here. They're not even interested, it doesn't seem. I'm gonna put on a bigger piece of bait. You can see them, I'm sure. They're all schooled up right there. And leave the rod sit and walk away. We'll have to see if it takes it then. I'm gonna just leave it there for a second. Go scat out the other parts of this dock area. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them right there too. And right under this post. They're under each individual post. So I think I'm gonna put on a split shot, get it to sink down a little bit faster, and try that out.
I tried out the micro split shot rig for about 30 more minutes, but was unable to get the killifish I was after. So I went back to the main lagoon and tried some lures on my casting rod for a while with no success. But after dinner, I did get to go back out to the surf.
Alrighty, we had to leave the little park for dinner. We've now had dinner and I'm back out at the surf. Not really having much expectation of success here, but it's worth another shot. I've got some plans for what we're gonna do tomorrow in hopes to get on a little bit more fish. But yeah, I'm gonna close out this evening in the surf and see what happens. Alrighty, well, it's time to reel in the final cast of the night. Yet again, I think we're gonna have another fishless surf fishing event today. Let's see. We'll give it a hook set just in case. Hook sets are free. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got nothing. This is really unfortunate. I'm not sure what's going on with the surf fishing. The first 2 years that I really did surf fishing here seriously, the second of which was my first Multi-Species Madness in the Outer Banks, were really good, but the last 2 years in the surf have been anything but awesome. So hopefully we can get on some type of fish more exciting than an eastern mosquito fish tomorrow, but I'll see you guys then. All right, going back out with the surf rod for day 3. Yet again, not having super high expectations, but the water's nice and warm, so I'm just gonna wait out, and it's super flat today. So I'm gonna give it a try. Fish on, baby. Let's go. Woo. Let's go. Kingfish on, baby. Woo-hoo. I think I'm gonna take him home to eat because I really want to do up some fish this trip. But that's our first fish out of the surf, so that's really good. All right, the kingfish has been disposed of. We're gonna go out and see if we can get another one.
Unfortunately, once low tide passed, I was unable to catch another fish from the surf, but I did get to see these really cool helicopters before our day at the beach was over.
Alrighty, so we are back out at the beach in the evening. We've come up with an idea on how to send out the big rod with some cut bait super far using like a water balloon slingshot thing. It's a super cool idea, but we have to test it first. So I've frozen some solo cups. We made some big old ice chunks, and we're gonna test it, see if this idea is really possible. And if it works out, we're gonna end up coming back out tomorrow and using this with some real cut bait, seeing if we can catch some bigger fish in the surf. So here goes some testing. Alrighty, so I have the remainder of the kingfish that I cut up. I have them all on individual circle hooks in these little cups. We have little steel leaders going down to the circle hooks, and we have a weight in there. I'm gonna fill up the bottom third of each of these and then freeze them, so then we can chuck it out with the slingshot all in one piece. And now they go in the freezer. By tomorrow morning, these should be good. It is 5:45 a.m. The sun just broke over the water line, and I'm gonna see if I can do a little bit of surf fishing now. I brought out both rods, mainly gonna mess around with smaller ones, see if there's anything active. And then at about 7:30 or so, I'm gonna have some people come down and assist me to launch out some stuff with the slingshot. So we're just gonna do a little bit of experimenting in the surf this morning, and then later on this evening, I think I'm gonna end up heading over to that park and doing a little evening session there. I'm not necessarily into wading in quite this early in the morning. I'll give it a little bit, so I'm mostly just gonna stand here and chuck it as far as I can. Woo! Okay, water's a little bit chilly for this early in the morning. All right, well, the current is ridiculous. I timed it, and my bait will only stay in front of me for about 1.5 minutes before it's all the way down to the left. So I'm gonna cast around some lures just because I don't know what else I can do here. So alrighty, well, it's a couple hours later. The ocean is definitely not pulling my line as far. There's not near as much current. So we're gonna give this a try. I'm gonna get the bait rigged up and we're gonna go out and sling it. Boom, we got a steel leader. I've got a whole fish head, 3 ounces in there, and a big old circle hook. We're gonna see what happens. So we're pulling out a little bit of extra line. We gotta move quick because it's starting to get exposed.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep. Take it as low as you can get.
All right, here we go, people. All right, got it? Everyone ready? Well, it shot. Okay, I'm gonna stand here for a while. All right, we're gonna stand here for a while, see what happens. Well, unfortunately, the bait kept getting drifted down and it went towards these people. So I didn't feel comfortable leaving it there. I'm gonna cast it out by hand and see how that goes.
Unfortunately, this setup combined with the conditions really didn't do what we were hoping it would, so I ended up changing tactics. Don't worry though, for the 2025 Outer Banks trip, we have a bigger and better version of this idea to try.
I'm all the way out here. There's the beach back behind me on a sandbar. I got the longer rod and back to using the smaller rig. Unfortunately, I don't think the bait catapult is going to be the best option for today because it just keeps getting dragged down that way, and for something like a big piece of cut bait, you really want to let it sit out there long. So I don't think that's going to be the best option. So I'm going to keep using what I was using yesterday and see if we can get a fish. I think I got a fish on. I missed the hook set. Pretty sure I've got one. Oh yeah, I've got one. Feels decent. Another king. All right, I gotta make it all the way back to shore. These doggone birds keep diving right in front of me. You know, just mocking me about the fact that there's fish there that they can catch and I can't. Did I get him? I think I got him. I might have him. Oh, I missed it. No. Oh, dang it. Put it back in the same spot. Come on. Come on, man. All right, it is now later in the day and we're at the same park that we were at. I think it was on day 2 that we came here. I'm rigging up my casting rod with a bobber and a piece of the kingfish that we caught earlier today. And then I'm gonna cast around a spinner on my spinning rod. I was told by a dude the other day that he had caught some white perch and a gar on a spinner, and I know there's catfish and some other stuff like that in here, so I'm going to be working with these two and see what we can do. I'm going to go over here and cast right where that dude said he caught the fish the other day. Oh, that was a stick. Okay, calm down. All right, we're back at the little lagoon that I caught a whole bunch of micros at last year. We're gonna see what's still here. I'm only gonna spend a brief time here and then I'm gonna go back and see if I can catch one of those gar that I keep seeing. I feel like this is gonna smell bad. Oh, it smells like death. Okay. I'm gonna use parts of these little clams that smell like death. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, big old turtle. Missed it. Let's get a different piece of bait. There's some sunfish here, which would be nice to add to the species list, even if it's not a super interesting catch. It'd be nice to add another species to our trip total. You can see snapping turtle down in the hole. Oh, I had a fish. No, I was paying attention to the turtle and I had a fish. Sorry if my speech is a little garbled here. I have my sun mask on, so it probably sounds slightly odd. was a really nice sunfish. There we go, bluegill, baby. That's a big one for the micro rod. Calm down. Nothing interesting, but another species for the trip. Toss them back over here. All right, let's see what else is in here. Another bluegill. There you go. Actually, hold on. I think that might be a red ear. I believe that is a red ear. Oh crap. Let me do some analysis. Yeah, I think that's a juvenile red ear. You can, the red eye kind of gives it away. Bluegill don't really have that. I'm counting dorsal rays and such. Yeah, pretty sure that's a juvenile red ear. I caught one of these last year. There you go. Nice, another new species for the day and for the trip. All right, well, I just got a call saying that dinner's ready now, even though it was supposed to be ready in about a half an hour from now. So I'm gonna see if I can catch one more little thing, and then I'm gonna head back to the house. There you go. Sheep's head minnow, baby. That took me forever to catch last time. It took me like 5 minutes just after I said that. That's a good way to end the session before dinner. I think I'm gonna come back after dinner and try for those gar. I think this is the other gender. I'm not sure whether I caught the female or male last time, but these do have what is scientifically known as sexual dimorphism, meaning the male and female look a little bit different. I believe this is the other one, whether it was a male or a female last time, this is the other one. So there you go, nice little fat sheep's head minnow. I'm gonna toss them back and head to dinner. On the way to the 4x4 beach, did a little bit of fishing in the morning at the surf, but didn't really have any luck. Was only there for a brief amount of time, but we're heading to the 4x4 beach, so we'll see what we can do there. Travel montage is right, yes. We have made it. Here we are. This is our spot. Alrighty, about to throw out the first cast of the 4x4 beach. There we go. Gonna let that sit a while. See what happens. A couple miles up. A couple miles north, that is. And could definitely be a little bit different fishing than down where we're actually staying, so we'll see what happens. All right, I'm putting the rod with cut bait out here too. There's something here. The girls were swimming in the water and they found it. I don't know what it is. I casted my bait right next to it. How far out?
Like 35 feet.
What the heck? All right, so whatever that was swam this direction. So I put it relatively shallow and I'm just leaving it there. I have the drag loosened up, so if something takes it, it can run with it. I'm gonna see if there's anything on this rod, because in all the commotion, I was not looking at it at all. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything on this rod. Hopefully whatever that is hits this rod over here. That'd be awesome.
Oh, right there. See it?
No.
Where the mucky
Where? Oh yeah.
See him?
Since those mystery fish, which I think were really large dogfish, were so close in, I decided to pull in my rod with a smaller rig so it was only a couple feet offshore. And then this happened.
Well, there's a kingfish. And that might actually be, yeah, look at that. That's a Gulf kingfish. So the other ones we caught were southern, and this one's a Gulf. You can tell by the little black tip on their tail. There you go. New species and a fish. Nice. That was super close in. It gets deep super quick right here, so I'm just gonna put it there. Maybe 50 feet away from me, only 40 feet out into the ocean, something like that. Alrighty, well, I've had these rods out here, and other than that kingfish, which was in fact right at low tide, thus kind of giving more support to my theory that low tide's the time to fish here in the Outer Banks. But other than that kingfish, I haven't had any bites in the last couple of hours. So I'm gonna reel these rods in and just relax for the rest of the time here at the 4x4 beach. I'll see you guys the next time we're out fishing. Alrighty, well, it is the next day and I'm back at the park. It's unlikely that we'll get to do any surf fishing today, and if I do get to do any, it will be much later in the evening because we have some dangerous riptides out there in the surf today. So it's definitely pulling. We didn't even go to the beach to swim today, so I'm here at the park. We're gonna see if we can get any of those gar and maybe do a little bit more micro fishing as well, so we'll see what happens. All right, so this is the spot where all those gar were the other day. I'm gonna cast around the spinner a little bit, see if we can get one. Then I'll chuck the cut bait out there, mess around here for a little bit, and then go from there. All right, well, I was gonna use some cut bait, but it was sitting in my box in the sun and it kind of disintegrated and it smelled ultra bad, so I got rid of that. I might end up going and catching a sunfish or something over at that little lagoon and using that as cut bait, but I'm gonna mess around with the spinner for a little bit longer. The big gar just jumped behind me. It was the big one. You can see his ripple right here. And now there's one over there. What the heck? And there's one out there. What in the world is going on? There's one right, that was a white perch. Either white perch or little gar. They keep jumping up in here too, but have you caught anything? Not yet. I mean, I caught stuff last time I came here, but I'm trying to figure out what they want. Yeah, I've caught little catfish up in here too. Oh my gosh, I'm going over there. All right, here comes the little topwater. Little topwater. What the heck? Stuff jumping out. All right, I've got a baby hula popper. Cast it pretty good. There's one right there. Young man over here just gave me a piece of crab, so I'm gonna cast this out on a little float rig and see what happens. One just swerved out by my bobber. There you go. Well, I caught another crab with the crab. We got more bait. Do fish know what mocking is? Like, are they mocking me? This is crazy, man. Oh my gosh. All right, those fish were really starting to frustrate me, so I made a quick move over to the little micro fishing hole. I'm gonna use some of the crab here, see if that produces anything different than when we were using the little pieces of clam. Are we serious? That fish inhaled the entire bait and I missed him. The crab definitely has a little bit harder time staying on the hook than those clams do. So I'm gonna make sure I hook it through a piece of the shell when I hook it on. A mosquito fish to take the skunk off the board for the day. Better than nothing for sure. I'm gonna keep him for bait because he'll probably stay on the hook a little bit better than the crabs I've been using. All right, well, we got our fish, but I do want to cast out a little piece of this mosquito fish, see if there's anything in here willing to eat that, other than that turtle. The mosquito fish are being cannibals. The turtles are having a field day with my bobber, and I caught one. Oh, crap. Okay, this is an ugly stick, so I should be fine lifting it up. Alright, hold on. There he goes. He's not happy, but he's off the hook. You're off. Go this way, bud. Yep, go that way. Go. Go. Big splash. Alright, that's probably our sign to head back, see if we can catch any of those fish that was messing with me earlier. But no skunk for the day, but also nothing interesting. So we gotta go see if we can get something interesting. Let's do it. I wanna dream of it, so I don't have to dream alone.
Regardless of whether I'm dreaming alone or not, my dreams of catching a gar did not come true today. But before heading home, I did have a dragonfly encounter and learned some valuable information for fishing the sound.
So all the water from Back Bay was in there.
Okay. Alrighty, well, it's our last day here in the Outer Banks. Some of the people in our crew came over to the park this morning and saw a whole bunch of fish swimming under this bridge. Showed me some pictures, and I believe they're grass carp. I'm gonna go check it out and see what the heck's going on. Yeah. Very interesting. We're gonna grab a piece of our little crab from yesterday, see what the heck's going on. Yeah, they are grass carp or mullet. They could be big old mullet too. All right, just got a good look at a whole bunch of them, and they are gigantic mullet. That's exactly what they are. Alrighty, so I put on a little cast master because as much as these mullet typically don't hit anything other than vegetation type things, I've seen lots of report of fish like that, filter feeders and that sort of thing, hitting moving baits just out of the pure reaction strike. I've seen it with big head carp before, so I'm gonna give it a try. It could end up in me snagging one too, which would be kind of annoying, but that's a risk I'm gonna take. So put the spoon in there and see what happens. Oh, I'm not sure if that was it just getting bumped or it actually getting hit. You can barely tell how many of them there are.
They're attracted to it. They're definitely attracted to any of this.
Yeah, I mean, they primarily feed on vegetation, but any fish, if you rip something flashy by their face, will hit it sometimes. Are you in the mouth? You are in the mouth. Look at that. I gotcha. Gigantic mullet. Wow, that's just what I was saying. These fish don't eat anything but, typically don't eat anything but vegetation, but I ripped a spoon past him and he got it. There you go. He does not want me to hold him, but I'm going to. There you go. Giant mullet. Alrighty, I'm gonna give one more shot at these gar before I leave. I think I got him. I definitely got him. Another kingfish, baby. That's a big one. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's deep. Oh no, he came off. You saw him though. Oh, that counts. I think it was another southern, not a gulf. So I'll count it as a southern. I got one. I think. That's just, yeah, that's another southern kingfish. I'm gonna let him go while I'm out here. Oh, there he goes.
That previous kingfish was the last catch of this Outer Banks fishing adventure, but to close out this video, I did end up cooking up that kingfish that we caught early on in the trip, so we'll roll that footage now.
Alrighty, so I finished up the fish. I used that Dano's seasoning. I've used it on a batch of a trout that I did on opening day, but this is only the second time I've ever used it, so I'm gonna give the kingfish a taste here. Alright, let's see how it is. Pretty good. Yeah, I really like the Dano's seasoning too. I got that stuff at the expo. Works out really, really well. Oh yeah, really good. Really good.
And with that, that's all I'm going to have for you guys in this video here today. We ended up with 7 total species, one of which being a new species. I really enjoyed making this video, and as always, learned a ton, and I really hope the same is true for you. If that's the case, I would really appreciate you hitting the like button and possibly thinking about subscribing if you haven't, because I've got more informational and educational style outdoor content coming your way real soon. With all that being said, God bless, and I'll see you next time.